Yeah, this is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
On the show today, we talked to people who forgot to tell their partner something, and it was a fairly important something.
Yeah. Oh, we start the show by discussing what tramp stamp Nat's getting.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Because she is getting one.
I just couldn't decide.
Well, we can't have a tramp that's unstamped, can we, Sean?
We catch up with Griffin Logue from the Fremantle Dockers.
Yeah. Where people were surprisingly forced to sleep are very interesting. We talk about what Netflix is going to be doing with their password,
Pretty full on.
like sharing crackdown. That's unbelievable. And also, should we speak about some of the Commonwealth Games sports?
Yes, we got a really good lift by our friend Katie Lamb, so that's got to have to go.
Katie
in.
goes,
She
God, that
loved
was
it so
funny.
much.
We went, well, our show. And then she goes, no, 94.5. And we're okay, so we'll play this anyway.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Happy Thursday, friends.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday.
It's such a good one, isn't it?
It is actually. Nat's dressed up for the occasion. She's got her hair done and everything for it. Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And by dressed
get me
up, you
through.
mean just
Put a
wore
shirt on.
blue
Put a
shirt?
shirt
Yeah.
Well, normally you're nude from the waist up.
Put a top on.
Anyway, works for me.
That's just how you remember it.
That's how we see it. That's how we see a tramp stamp. Have you ever thought about getting a tramp stamp?
Another
Back in
one.
the day, back in the
Another
day?
one.
Never was
If you
in
were
my-
to get one, what would it be? Would it be like a Celtic design or a
No,
dolphin?
a Kelpie design. Just a-
situation.
Celtic.
Maybe just a big dog.
Like just
life
like, coming,
size.
like with his paws outside of your knickers.
Yep. Just poking his
that
head
works.
up. Yeah.
That works.
And or a dog just sniffing your bum.
That'd
That
be
works
good.
too.
Wow.
They like to do that. Oh, here's a
Right.
couple that
Here's-
Harry's
yeah.
got up. A lady's got the
Insert
McDonald's.
coins in slot. A woman's there. A woman's got the Taco Bell logo. Another one's got handlebars. She's got bike handlebars.
Very
behind her.
poor taste.
What's the other one? Why has the woman got McDonald's there? We got drunk and made. Don't want to read that. I love Justin Bieber in a terrible font. Oh, that one, Sean. Next to the I love Justin Bieber. We can't read it out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
What rhymes with demon and starts with S? Something.
Well, they're really
demon.
going to the next level, Natalie. Are they?
So, what about that woman there? Go down there, Harry. She's got diarrhea and an arrow. Is that an arrow? Just known as diarrhea.
Oh, my
in a
God.
nice-
Look how
in a-
fresh that is. A bit
in a
red,
nice
too.
font. Do these women not realise that this is forever?
What's the one with the pig on her butt?
Well, that's the pig and the different cuts of
And
meat
the-
you
yeah,
can
that's
take
right.
from a pig.
Of course.
Oh, my God.
Is that Donald Trump?
That's
Yes.
Donald Trump's head.
Oh,
coming out of
that's the
someone's
best
arse.
one. Someone's got in large font, I'm going to kill you, Ray Romano.
Makes no sense at all.
Oh, okay.
that's
Well,
very
there you
good.
go.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Seven dwarves.
Oh, there's only 6 of them. One of
Because
them's
one of them's
obviously
gone
already
into
gone
a-
into the mine.
Gone into her bum hole.
Okay, tramp stamps, all the rage, apparently.
Whether you've been craving the ocean, snow, mountains, or city lights, there are so many possibilities for you and your next trip.
Yeah, make up for missed holidays and explore more of Oz with whatif.com.
Jump online or on the What If app.
What if? It's Aussie for travel.
We love this man. Volodomyr Zelenskyy.
Quite
Such a
pillar,
familiar
hasn't he?
tune.
Yeah. We've seen him show himself around the world these days, including in our own parliament, thanking everybody for supporting them and asking for some more
Yeah.
support for the Ukraine.
And everyone's saying, yes, we're here for you without actually stepping in and helping.
Yeah, that's right. He really
so
stood up, though,
frustrating.
you know, once war was declared on him, basically. A lot of other leaders would have gotten the hell out of there.
I
and
tell
he
you right now,
stuck around.
90% of the world's leaders
Yes.
will be burrowed into the earth in some bunker.
Exactly.
And
In a
he's
different
not.
country, and he's
he's
not.
He is there, and like he basically once told them all where he was. I'm
Yes.
exactly in my office. Come get me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He seems very.
He would have spent the rest of that night under the desk.
Oh, he locked the doors. That's
Close the curtain.
Yeah. I'm going to change that combo from.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so strangely, he's done an exclusive interview with Piers Morgan. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah. Him of all people. Jesus.
Yeah.
Was Oprah not available?
And in this interview, he had to apologise to his wife. You see, this is unbelievable. He forgot to tell his wife that he was running for president.
Now, up until that point, he was an actor.
Yes.
playing a president in a sitcom.
Yep. So
she's married an actor. She hasn't married a politician.
No, she found out by watching him announce it live on a New Year's Eve variety show that he was hosting back in 2018.
No, that's not how you should find that out. That you might be the first lady of Ukraine.
She spoke on his in his defence.
Yeah,
She said this was a very difficult decision for our family. I knew it would hit them. That's what he said. Sorry, that'll be a tough call. It's no joke. These are serious matters. My family wasn't prepared to let me go. And then she said that that's why he was probably each day thinking that this is the day, that this is the moment. I should tell her now. He kept on postponing it. And then it was on TV. I saw the New Year's address and I found out that he was actually running.
I know, that's amazing.
No,
and just think about the turn of events. It's what's happened now.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole family's in hiding.
Oh, the family. Like, they are number one on the we want to kill a family Russian list.
Oh, why am I
Like
laughing?
Russia a country wants to kill you because of what your husband's doing for a job. By the way, he forgot to tell you he was going to do it.
Yeah.
The mad poison.
It's like, this isn't what I signed up for.
And
This
look-
isn't in the marriage vows.
Look, he didn't know he was going to be strolling into a job where the place was going to be at war. That was just something.
And also, he didn't know he was going to win either. He
No, that's
was
probably the other
running.
thing,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
right. That's right. I think he threw his hat into the ring and didn't really think seriously that he would get elected.
God, what a turn of events.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing not to tell or forget, no.
Well, it's
Well,
there's one
yeah.
thing not to tell, but not to forget something that is actually very important. I think that's even just a little more of a stab in the guts. To withhold information is one thing, but to forget to tell someone something important. I mean, you would probably
I'm
have done
sure
it
he
100
withheld
times, and
for
I'm
a
sure
while.
You cannot remember one story about
Not one, Nathan, and I agree
No, that would
100
never-
times would
never
be
happen.
on the low end of things.
Yeah, all right. We
Like, you
want
forget to tell when you might have a bit of a win on the horses.
No, possibly not. I don't want to say too much.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We are discussing when one partner just forgets to tell the other partner something pretty important.
Usually, an argument will be shortly
Ensue.
after that. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Hey,
Daniel, we were
All right.
worried we wouldn't hear from any men, but
Yeah.
thank you for calling.
So, Daniel, is this something that your partner forgot to tell you about?
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's hear it.
So when we first met, we hit it off quite well. Went back to her place that night, and she told me she was on the pill, and she forgot to tell me it was actually Panadol.
She said, I'm on the
Oh,
pill,
Daniel.
but
Yeah. So, 9 months later, we had a first kid together.
Are you still together, Dan?
Yeah, 8 years now. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, okay, well, it worked out a treat.
Yeah.
See, that's a little
Definitely,
bit of a
yeah.
sneaky number.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that weird? And she has the Panadol around because I'm guessing anytime you want to touch now, she
Yeah,
has
it's got a headache.
The Panadol's been a
Dan.
constant in his life, hasn't it, Dan?
Donna's in Kingsley. Morning, Donna.
Morning.
All right, Donna. Are you the guilty party here?
Certainly am.
Okay, what happened?
I booked my husband in for a vasectomy.
And forgot to tell him. I mean, he had to tell him at some point, obviously.
Yeah, well, he actually got a message off the doctor saying he was booked in.
Yeah.
He didn't know anything about it. So he
No.
rang me.
After
And,
how many kids was this, Donna?
This was after 2.
Yeah.
You
You were
said
done.
no more for you, Donna, no more.
Okay, so he gets the message, which would be quite a shock to him. And what was his response?
Well, he said he didn't want any more kids either, so I thought, well, why not? So I booked him in, and he went ahead with it, and I went and watched the procedure.
Did you? Just to make
Did you?
sure.
Did you? Well, you didn't trust it, or you were...
Or you just
Anyway,
fascinated?
Yeah.
Bit of both, really.
Yeah.
There's a few needles going in, isn't there? Is that how it works? Bit of a snip?
It was great. It was
Yeah.
a lovely smell.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a lot of women out there who would like to see their partners...
100%.
I know, but I'm just thinking.
Vasectomy.
I'm just thinking for the poor bloke because I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know for sure, Donna, but you're sitting there with a big smile on your face, eating popcorn,
Cut it,
and then
tear
she
it.
slow clapped.
She pushed out 2 kids. She's allowed to.
Nathan, Nat and Sean.
We're talking about when one partner just forgets to tell the other partner something a little bit critical, like, hey, I'm running for the presidency of Ukraine, for example.
And your life's going to change forever.
Well, she's got exactly that story. This is Isabel.
What are the chances?
Hi, Isabel.
Hi, how you going?
Good, mate.
Good, Isabel.
Tell us about your partner.
So my daughter works for the police force, and they were doing a documentary and on her and cadets and young Aboriginal police officers.
Yes.
And so they were the film crew were following her around and all the other police involved, and they were then doing videos and interviews with their family. So my husband knew that my daughter was doing the documentary. I forgot to tell him that they were coming over on the particular day to interview her.
Yeah.
So myself and my daughters, we had our hair done, makeup. We were in really good clothes.
Yes.
And my husband's rocked up with, cars in the driveway and walked in. And I had to say, oh, by the way, honey, you're being filmed, so just get ready to be interviewed. So he just walked in the door, work clothes, had no clue, hair not even ready to be interviewed, whereas I had been prepared all day on what I was going to say.
Yeah, got your hair straight.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
face on.
You know what I love? Anyone watching that documentary would look at that and go, God, she can do better than me.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, Isabel, how flat was he with you later on after that?
I could see that because some of the questions I think if he was prepared, some of them he was just looking going, what am I doing?
Deer in the headlights.
And I felt so sorry for him. I was like, oh, what have I done? But it was too late. They were literally there and that was the only day for filming. So
Here you are, TV ready with the perfect, well-scripted answers, and he looks like a mess and doesn't know what, stumbling over his words. My dad would flip out if my mum did that to you.
I would, yeah.
Thanks, Isabel. Belinda, hello.
Hello, how you going?
Hey, Bel.
Did your hubby forget to tell you something?
Yeah, he did. He forgot to tell me that when he was single, that he was in a relationship and that they actually had a daughter together. And years and years later, the daughter, who was then an adult, decided that she wanted to try and find her father.
Yes.
And tracked him down and rang our home phone, and I answered the phone, and she said, oh, hello, my name's Abby, and are you married to my husband? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, well, I'm his daughter.
Whoa!
Okay,
and then so straight away, because you'd never even heard any inkling of this.
Nothing.
So
nothing.
What was your response?
Had no idea.
What was
I didn't believe her. I just went, I'm sorry, I think you've got the wrong person. And she said, no, your husband was in a relationship with my mum back, blah, blah, and they they didn't live together, but they were in this town, and this is my mother's name, and so I just took her number down at the time,
and
then waited for my husband to get home from work, and I confronted him and said, did you have a relationship with this person? Did you have a child with this person? And he went, yes, I did. And yes.
And then further on, his explanation was, but I forgot to tell you.
Well, they never had any contact. Actually, they had broken up before the child was born, and they never had any contact since.
Yeah, right. So it's never been sort of in his wheelhouse to even think about really for that long.
No.
Well,
what a way to find out.
Okay. Your heart would have exploded with that phone call.
Okay, so we're on season 2 now. How did it all pan out?
Yeah. Oh, look, it was fine. It was fine. I got back in, we both got back in contact with her and explained the situation that I don't know what the mum had sort of said to her about the relationship and whatnot, but we just sort of explained to her that this is how it was and, you know, that we had since had other children and that when they were older, you know, obviously that we would let them know that she existed, and if they wanted to make contact with her, then that was, you know, their choice of what they wanted to do.
So do you guys currently have a relationship with her?
No. I mean, we had, just a brief contact
Yes.
with her. I think she just really wanted to
know. And medical stuff and all that sort of stuff is always good to know and all that sort of stuff.
Wow. That's pretty full on.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Right, let's talk about one of my truest, greatest loves.
Your life partner, some might say.
This is it. This is the relationship you've been in longest.
Netflix. And let's talk about the one thing that anyone with a Netflix account does, and that is share their password.
Yeah, I don't know how many people. I know that I pay for multiple accounts. I just found this out the other day, so who knows who's got our passwords.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah. So Netflix cares.
They can have their money.
They're really going hard on this, Nathan, at the moment.
Yeah, Netflix doing trials overseas in different places to see how they can crack down on password sharing. So we now know what's happening.
Okay.
Under the new proposal being trialled, your Netflix account isn't just locked to the subscriber, but to the subscriber's primary residence. This means you can't use your own login details at, for example, a holiday home.
Well, that's ridiculous.
If you have a secondary residence to which you decamp over the school breaks or during school holidays, you can't use your Netflix login details without paying extra to add that home to your existing account. So I think it'll be around another $4 and you'll add that home to your account, right?
Right, so that'll be on a month, so an extra $4 a month, righto.
The same goes if you're merely on holidays and hired at a place for more than 2 weeks. Under the new regime, you can only transport your own account to another location for 2 weeks and only once per year for that location. What? So you can't spread
people that have
those...
got a weekender can't use it every weekend.
No, and say it's a weekend, you just want to use a couple of days here or there, like 2 weeks. You can't spread those 14 days over a few visits no
wonder they're losing subscribers hand over fist.
You're not wrong. Why couldn't they come up with another way? For example, the people who have a holiday house, they're still paying for it. How can they?
But also, right, so my Netflix account, I've got four profiles.
Yes, you automatically get
for four profiles. So whose business is it to who gets those profiles of mine? Because I'm paying for four. I'm not getting in for one.
Yeah.
I'm paying the money for four.
Do you switch between them like cool Nathan only watches these things and then nerdy Nathan watches glass blowing?
We all know the answer to that. The cool Nathan one doesn't exist.
Well, you're dead right, mate. You're dead right.
So what about on your phone? Like you can get it on your phone.
Yes, so the thing around that is if you've got it on your phone or a mobile device...
And then you mirror it to your TV.
You can mirror it, yes. So this is only applicable to when you're watching it from a television.
If you log on your TV.
Or from your Apple TV device, you know?
Yep.
So that would be at a holiday home. But the way around it is if you could mirror it to your Apple TV or your Chromecast and you could watch it that way. And then also it won't register if you are using just your iPad or your... Because I'm guessing that they're mobile devices.
Yes.
But I'm sure that they will work out how to crack down on that again. Also, how do they know your addresses? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do they know?
That'd be IP address stuff,
I don't
imagine.
know anything.
Yeah.
They are from a company that has lost a hell of a lot of money because there is so much more competition opening up.
Well, and people are unsubscribing in droves. They're in real trouble.
So this is not going to help?
No, it's not. It's not. And when you've got options...
Yeah. How about create better content?
Oh, it's pretty damning.
You know what I'm saying?
I have got every streaming service.
Oh, I don't.
Do you have a... Yeah, do you just flick between... Because I know people who will sign up for... And I know you've got them all the time, but, for 30 days here and then...
Do their trial.
No, that's a very clever thing to do, actually, to sign up for your free trial and then work out what's on that platform and then watch everything you can during those 3 days. Which can be done. I've done it many times. It can be done.
Trust him, it can be done.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
So many things have been going wrong with Qantas flights. The term of being joiced has become a thing.
Oh, has it?
Qantas fail is a hashtag that's going great.
Well, it has been a big fail, hasn't it, lately? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, of course, Qantas can't control the weather and stuff like that. So, you would have seen all over the news about the fog in Perth, meaning
that was yesterday.
None of the planes could land.
Well,
it wasn't just
there was
Qantas
20 planes that landed.
Yes, no, it wasn't just Qantas.
There was 20 that landed.
Yes.
And it was up to the pilots, Nathan, to be able to take it on.
So passengers on multiple flights to Perth were left stranded at different regional airports. So 3 flights, one from Broome, one from Port Hedland and one from Newman were diverted to Geraldton. I know. There was a flight from Canberra was diverted to Kalgoorlie. And a flight from Adelaide was diverted to Busselton. But let's talk about Geraldton. This was a nightmare for all of the staff. So they weren't told about the fact that, there was fog and all that sort of stuff. They weren't informed enough, they said. They were told by the flight crew around 2 a.m. that they'd be spending the night at the airport due to a lack of available accommodation in the area.
And the crew had timed out.
Yep.
So the crew couldn't continue, so they were stuck there.
It was 6 degrees with people dressed in their clothes that they were wearing in Broome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
And they were just trying to find somewhere to sleep. They were sleeping on chairs. They were on cardboard boxes. Old newspapers were used to cover them, just trying to keep warm. Some, I managed to only get like an hour's sleep. One of the customers was enraged. Her name was Angela. She said, "Qantas, you were so un-Australian," meaning you've been joiced. The pilot and crew headed off to a hotel, leaving all their passengers, including the elderly, mine workers and children, to sit in the airport overnight with no food, water or care. Qantas, you should be ashamed. People were at the airport getting off the flight once they got back to Perth. They weren't happy.
We slept on a bench and some people had to use newspaper to keep warm.
I was lucky. I actually got to sleep on a seat.
We had some water and some apple juice left by the Qantas staff up. Then they just retreated somewhere.
But nobody came down to check on us or look after us or ask if we were all right.
There was just no communication at all. Shocking. Not the spirit of Australia.
Yeah,
there we go.
Geraldton Airport's not exactly Changi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no food outlets, there's nothing. And just imagine just going, oh, here's some water and some apple juice. See you later, we're off to a hotel. Or like, you'd be pretty savage about it.
Yeah,
the thing about it, though, is if you've been told beforehand this is the plan, then you've got some time to mentally prepare for the situation. But when something like this is sprung on you, like you are going to be sleeping here, that's a shock.
It is a shock. I just want to go back just a second. The pilot's right, so they had the choice of what to do.
Yeah.
Would you rather them keep pushing through? I know.
No, but they can't.
Dangerous.
They were timed out. That crew had timed out. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to.
No. In the first instance, they had the choice to fly to Perth.
Oh, you're saying in the fog.
Or, they elected, those planes elected.
So what you're saying is our cars have fog lights, don't planes?
Yeah. Martina, hello.
Hi.
Right, where were you forced to sleep, Martina?
So we were on our Kentucky trip in Europe and our hotel double booked us. So our Kentucky place had to book another hotel and we had to stay at a nunnery.
Oh, how exciting!
What was that like?
Yep, so we had to sleep on metal beds and it was after our ultra trip. And everyone had to sleep in single metal beds next to each other and there was pictures of Jesus and God
and then did you have to get up at like 4 o'clock?
Yeah, it was very odd to sleep in.
Did they look after you, Martina?
No, we didn't see any of them. But we had to have lights out by 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
of course.
It was the this is not what goes on a Kentucky tour.
Yeah, exactly. So it was very odd, and there was about 10 of us sleeping on metal beds, and we were all dead from our Europe trip, our ultra trip. So yeah, it was very odd to sleep in that after.
A bit Spartan.
I really wish that you did see some of the nuns. I'd love to see. Okay, do you think a nun would put a good spread on for breakfast?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I think it would be meagre,
like dripping in bread.
Yeah, I think it would be very basic. Yeah.
I think a rural nun would put on a good spread. No, you know what I mean? Like, because they would be out with their little animals, and they've got their gardens.
Yeah, home cooking.
Rural nuns
making their own bread.
They would get up at 3 a.m.
They would get up. They go and get some fresh eggs and all that sort of stuff. I think a city nun would put on a real dismal,
be cold and
dismal. It's city
I think
nuns.
you don't need to eat a lot because you've got Jesus.
Yeah, unless a city
You're
nun
filling all your needs.
Yeah, I get it now.
Unless a city nun does a Macca's run.
I haven't seen a nun. Actually, I have not
What
seen
does City Nun do a Macca's run?
I don't think. I have not seen a nun at Macca's. If anyone else has seen a nun
if
at
anyone's
Macca's,
seen a nun at McDonald's, let us know.
It's important questions.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
A bunch of passengers on a flight from Broome to Perth were diverted to Geraldton, and then the crew timed out, so they were abandoned at the airport. The crew left them some apple juice and some water and said, see you later, we're off to a hotel. They had to stay there at the airport.
Cover themselves in paper.
In newspaper.
A girl that used to work here named Pippa, remember? She was in Kalgoorlie at the same time that I was there when I was with Dicko during the Australian Idol auditions.
Yes.
And this is when Dicko was drinking still. Anyway, we were all blind, right, at this bar. And Pippa's obviously had so much more alcohol than anyone else because that's what Pippa used to do. So I've gone back to the hotel and then I've seen Pippa the next day and she was looking a little worse for wear. And then I found out that she had lost her keys. There was no one in her house to let her in. So she crawled under her housemate's car and covered herself with leaves to stay warm. And that's where she slept, under a four-wheel drive, covered with leaves.
I mean,
ingenuity.
That's right. That was some solid decision making. Amy's in Mandurah. Hello.
Hi, Amy.
Hello.
Hi, Amy.
Amy, talk to us. Where were you forced to sleep?
So I came home from a night out by myself, and it's like me to lose my keys, so I was used to that. So I was looking through my bag, and they weren't there. So I just slept in my courtyard on my daughter's trampoline. And then I woke up in the morning, and the keys were in the door.
Oh, Amy.
Amy. Was it cold?
I somehow got halfway, and then I was I don't know. And I just went to sleep in the front yard,
Oh, sweet.
A trampoline's a good option,
It
though.
is a good option.
Yeah.
Is it a yard where people could walk past and see that you were sleeping on
Absolutely.
a trampoline?
It was a set of apartments, so I don't have a front yard. I just have a courtyard with a tiny trampoline. So it's not a big trampoline. It's a very small trampoline.
You know what the worst thing is as well is there's one thing falling asleep sober, but when you fall asleep drunk, people can tell that you've fallen asleep.
Yeah.
So you would have just been this drunken woman on a child's trampoline at the front of the courtyard. I'm sorry, if I was walking past, I would have jumped on and double bounced you.
Your class act, Amy. Thank you. Sue, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Sue.
Where have you been forced to sleep?
In Wimbledon. I went over to Wimbledon in 2001, and you used to be able to join the queue and sleep overnight.
Yes.
Yes, and I was all prepared, excited. I took newspapers. I found a park bench in the queue. And then it just started to rain.
Yes.
At about 10 o'clock. And it rained and rained. I had to resort to going to the public toilet, curling up in the ball, because it wasn't just me.
In the
there
public
was like
toilet?
10 of us. We had to stay there. It just rained all night. And
I think I'd rather get drenched than
So
sleep
you
in a public
curled up
toilet.
in a ball
No,
and slept in a public toilet.
These toilets were set up for the people in the queue, so they were like transportable ones, but they were very clean.
Oh, okay.
So, Sue, if you're sleeping in the public toilet, what if somebody needed to go to the toilet?
It's like no one really slept that night anyway because we were cold, we were wet, and we were cramped and uncomfortable. And then they get you up at like 6 o'clock to get back into the queue because they gave you a number. And then the sun comes out and you're all like tired, and then you've got full sun on you. You just want to go back to sleep.
Did you use a toilet roll as a pillow?
No, I just used the wall. It was horrible.
Did you at least get good tickets to Wimbledon?
Oh, yeah, I was front row when Leighton Hewitt played.
Oh, really?
Okay, well, that's all worth it.
I mean, no one else is in the front row because she reeked of urine.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
So the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony is on tomorrow morning, and a lot of Australians won't take part in it because they're concerned about the coronavirus, and also, obviously, having events the next morning will play into consideration of what they're going to be.
That's kind of always been the case with events that are held the next day.
I wouldn't miss
that
it
makes
for anything.
sense.
You know, in your mind, you're just like,
Commonwealth I would, not the Olympics.
Yeah, I guess.
Not taking anything away from the Commonwealth Games, but it's like the Olympics, you wouldn't
I feel like you're taking a lot away from
We
it.
like the Commonwealth Games because we win everything.
Oh, mate, we win everything. I know how it sounds.
The best.
We wouldn't win a medal at the track and field events, realistically, when we go to
Excuse me, we just won 2 gold medals at the World Championships, so back off,
Not
buddy.
every country was there. Not every country's there. But
At the World Championships?
No, the Com Games is one of those things where it's a bit Mickey Mouse, but we dominate and we all go, yeah,
we love it.
So cool. So that's awesome. But our flag bearers are Eddie Okkanen, who's Australian royalty when it comes to hockey. And he's played in the Olympics, Com Games, and won 3 Commonwealth Games titles. In fact, he's never played in a losing game at the Commonwealth Games.
That's pretty amazing.
And when you think of India, like they have been a powerhouse for a long
Malaysia
time.
as well, Yep.
Is Pakistan in it? Because they used to be a good hockey team.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never hear of anyone really speak about hockey.
Only when it comes to Olympics and Commonwealth Games.
Like this, people start talking about hockey. And I think hockey people can sense that. Hockey people are like, why don't you shut your mouth about hockey?
Yeah.
Talk about it any other time of the year.
He's a champion, lives in our fair state. Oh, the other one is Rachel
first you've ever
Gridham.
said his name.
He's always a star. I love him. 2-time gold medalist in... she's a squash player.
Yes. What was her name again? Say her name again.
Rachel Gridham.
Lovely.
So she has been to the Commonwealth Games 6 times.
That's amazing, isn't it?
My God.
Household name.
Squash seems like the thing that people do after work.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it doesn't
not taking anything away from the sport, of course.
It doesn't get much of a chance to shine, does it? So the Com Games are it. At least, table tennis gets played at the Olympics as well, but squash doesn't.
No, I mean, Nathan, right. Let's concentrate on the Olympics and or Commonwealth Games. You see so many sports, you go, come on.
I know. Squash, you're right. It is like, I've got to remember to take a change of clothes. I've got squash tonight.
I've got squash tonight. You've got squash tonight. That's exactly what happens.
And then don't you have to, like, you put your money in to turn the lights on in the court? Isn't that the way it used to work?
Also, you have to hit the ball. You have to hit the ball so hard. It's like the ball doesn't even want to try.
Yeah.
The ball's like, oh, it's only squash.
It's a game of such skill
I'll bounce
and
to
touch,
something more important.
Squash is one of those games that everybody thinks they're good at until they play somebody who's good at it, and then they're like, oh wait,
I love playing squash.
I'm not good at it at all.
But yeah, you're right now. 100%. Now moving on to the women's Tour de France, which is on at the moment. Okay, so it was the 4th stage yesterday, and just finishing off, last night our time, and a lady by the name of Mavi Garcia was running in 4th position at this point in time, and she just dropped back to have a bit of a drink in the pack.
Yes.
So her team car decided to obviously give her that drink and then just pop behind her, but then it lost a bit of concentration, and the team car driver ran her over.
She got run over by her own team car.
Not just clipped her wheel.
No, she clipped the wheel, sent her
but
flying,
knocked her off.
and knocked her off her bike. She had all grazes and,
her own team car.
Oh, my God. Did the baguette fall out of the basket at the front of her bike?
I don't know what happened to the
bag of onions.
And the flowers?
Oh, God.
So she had a rough finish to the end. She ended up finishing 34th position, I think, when she went over the line.
So she's no longer in 4th then, I take it?
No, she's dropped down to 11th, which is a big deal.
Oh, no, she's under the 4th tyre.
Yeah. Jeez.
Gee, you'd be pretty flat.
You'd be dark. It's an uncomfortable conversation in the team bus on the way home.
Yeah.
Also, if she's running 4th, why isn't a teammate? Do they not have domestiques in the? Normally,
I don't know.
Because in the men, it's the the ones making up the numbers in the team have to go back, get all the drinks, and take them up to the good guys at the front.
Yeah.
Far out. They've had some big bingles. There was a massive crash the other night as well, where they were literally going down like 9 pins, and then girls that were coming through from behind, full speed, crashing into people lying on the ground, and just like, that's not good.
Yeah, I know, and you see that time and time again, and obviously when we talk about cyclists, we only think of those guys getting around in Lycra down at the local coffee shop.
Yeah.
But when they come off a bike and break their collarbone or something, they just get on and just get going.
And with grazes and bleeding and everything.
So what's the etiquette when you see a pile up on the road? Do you just get your bike bell, ding 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 ding?
Yeah.
So
and then it's on them to get out of the way.
Excuse me, coming through. Hey, Missy.
I believe you're right.
On your right.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.